Hey guys, so we're back with another episode of Taco Imposters. The giveaway is supposed to end today. Where is it? It's supposed to end today. I have no idea if it will. It's gonna end today, but I want to see if I have any entries in the actual giveaway. Probably not, eh? Probably one of those stupid things where it's like, there's no entries in the giveaway. Which, probably gonna suck, but you know, whatever. What are you gonna do? What are you going to do? So, let me see if I can get it. No, eh? Probably not. Anyway. Okay. So, I've been playing No Man's Skies. I played it, I started it a while ago. Like, I started trying to play it a while ago. But didn't get anywhere with it because it's one of those things where I'm not good at, like, I don't know. It's hard to, but anyway. Yeah, so I started playing it, right? I have a Xbox controller here, like a fake Xbox controller, and so I was like, oh, okay, let me see how I can play. I played it. Oh my god, it's like the best. It's like so good. It's like such a good game. People compare it to something like Ready Player One, where it's like, okay, it's not that level of good. I mean, it's definitely like amazing, but is it that level of good? I don't know. I have no idea. If I can ever load. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. It's good because it's kind of like an exploration game. So it's kind of something like a little mix of like Terraria, Minecrafty. What else? Like a lot of exploration games. Very good. Now you go to your dashboard, right? And none. There is nobody in the giveaway. Maybe I'll try it again. Not this time at all. Try it again. Okay, so that's no one's gonna win that. Oh well. Oh well. No one's winning that. Okay. Nobody entered it, so it's done. Giveaway's done. Okay, so oh well. But yeah, it's a really good game. It's very good, like ridiculously good. I've also been trying to get different things working, but yeah, I'm playing that. Oh, it's like great. I'm doing lots more animation stuff. What else? Been doing, yeah. So, where is it? Oh, there. Right. And so, you've been trying to do that, and I mean, it's a great game. I don't know if it's like, you know, Ready Player One levels of good. I don't know. You know what I mean? Okay. So yeah. Yeah. And then I was looking at things like there's flight simulator stuff, like there's for this? And this? Maybe, I don't know. Let me check what this is. Okay. I don't know. Maybe this. Anyway, so yeah. And so I have an old flight simulator game from like 96, 90, Windows 95 and 98, which is this one. And the new game that just came out was Flight Simulator 2020, which Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which I've seen like footage of it. It looks incredible. Like, it looks ridiculous. Right? Oh, wait, where did it go? So, yeah. And so I really want it, but apparently it's like the most ridiculous thing to run ever, because, from what I heard, it is because, it does, like, real-time, well, first it has, like, actual, like, what's it called? Satellite imagery of, like, GPS local satellite imagery of stuff, which is crazy when you think about it, because you're like, whoa, wow, right? So watch Jack, that's the guy, go to the old house in Ireland. Oh boy, anyway. Just a sec. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, that, like, and then it does, like, real time, so if you see a plane go by, that's technically real time. Okay, it's, like, a bit of a delay, obviously, because it won't do it perfectly, but real time. Right? Oh, apparently it's insane. It's crazy, the game. So, yeah. It's apparently insane, so. Yeah, I want to play it, but I don't know if I can ever run it on this PC. You know? So. I'm not sure if I can run it on this PC. Because this PC is not exactly the most demanding, or sorry, most, like, craziest build, so. So I don't know if I could actually, like, anyway. So yeah. It looks crazy. I don't know. I've always liked flight simulators. I've only ever played, like, very, very, like, vague. Like, oh, it's a flight simulator, but it's not exactly, like, accurate, if you know what I mean. Right? It's one of those, like, oh, okay. And so, yeah. And so, I don't know. Okay, what I really always liked about flight simulators was the joystick was always so cool to me. I played it with them, like, 3 times in my life. They're always so cool. And then I used to get them, like, they're like, what are they called? What are they called? Joysticks? Oh, no, not joysticks, the, arcade sticky type things, right? I have one for, NES, and it's just, it's like, it's because all the games that you want to play with them, there's like 3. right? There's like 3 in the whole. And then when you do play something like Mario or Zelda or Metroid or something like, or Castlevania or something like that, or Mega Man, you're just like, yeah, so sorry, cut there. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so I had it for like NES, and I was like, this is not, no, It's like 3 games that you'd actually ever want to play with it, so. But every game works, right? So it's like, well, you know, I don't know. I just think it's weird, dumb, stupid. Because the other ones are like Top Gun, and some of those like space shooters. Some of them, you know, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe somebody found a game that it works like really wonderfully for. I don't think so, but I don't think so, but you know, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. And so when I actually used a joystick to play a flight simulator game, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. This is fun. Like, I was like mind blown. It was so like, whoa, you know. Right? So yeah. And then, I was thinking about, well, because the Nerd and AVGN just did a video on Mission Impossible for N64. And then I pulled out, I remembered this game, right? Which is, well, it's GoldenEye for PS2, right? Okay. Controversial opinion, I'm going to say this right now. GoldenEye for N64 is pure and utter trash. I think it's bad. I think it's awful. Because it did not age well at all. And I don't think the reason why is because you have games like The World's Not Enough, which aged... Okay, it didn't age, like, that much better, but it aged in that playable better. Like that. Now, don't get me wrong. GoldenEye is playable. It's just, you play it and you just go... There's, at least I play it, and there's something about it where I'm like, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it, right? You know, I'm someone like Ian Ferguson who just goes, no, it did not age, no, it's bad. Because, well, the only thing is it's bad, because you have games like, what's it called? The World's Not Enough, which did age, like, decently, right? Now, I'm not going to say it's leaps and bounds better, but it is, like, that much, just, like, it's, like, that much, like, step above, like, Probably also because I never played it as a kid, so if I played them, I don't know which one I would like if I played them both, but I'm sure if I played, like, GoldenEye and then years later played The World's Not Enough, I probably would have been like, better game, but I like GoldenEye better. It'll be one of those situations, right? Right? It's like a lot of those kart racing games where it's like, Mario Kart is just overrated. Like, Mario Kart 64 is overrated. Now, it's not a bad game. I don't think it aged poorly like GoldenEye did, but I think it's overrated. Overrated, so. And then you have things like, you know, Diddy Kong Racing, which I personally think is better because it has a whole story and you can do a whole, like, there's a game to it. I don't know. And then you have things like, Mickey Mouse, what's it called? Speedway. Mickey Speedway. I always think it's Mickey's Epic Speedway, but I think it's just Mickey Speedway. Anyway. Personally, I think it goes Diddy Kong Racing, Mario Kart, and then Mickey Speedway. But like GoldenEye, like I said before, if I had played it, I probably would have said I think, you know, World's Not Enough is a better game, but I like GoldenEye better. It's just that same thing. I think Diddy Kong Racing is a better game, but I like Mario Kart 64 better. Right? right? Like, I'll pull out that, because I'll play that, like, twice, and be, like, I'll do, like, 2 races in Diddy Kong Racing, and just be like, okay, now what? Right? I'm kind of just bored. But I'll play, like, 20, 30, I can play for, like, the whole night in Mario Kart Racing, like, it's crazy, it's great, so, I definitely could, yeah, oh yeah, so, and then, so, Mission Impossible, I remember playing very, very vaguely, because I've told this story before, where my brother's friend gave me a whole, like, boatload of these games. I was like, can I borrow some games of yours? So I knew he had games, right? So my brother's best friend, so I drive to his house, he goes, open the window, he pulls out a handful of games, I'm like, okay, that's like, 5, 7, 10, maybe. He does that 3 times! I'm like, with N64 and PS2 games, and I'm like, whoa! That's a lot of games. And so that's where I got this, which is technically his. It ever happened to you? Where you borrow something from your friend, or like your friend lets you borrow something, or someone you know you let you borrow something, right? And then, instead of giving it, well, not giving it back, but you kind of forget to give it back, and then it just gets years and years. And sometimes you end up in the situation where you don't even, like, talk to this person ever anymore. Or, like, you don't interact with this person anymore, and so you get that whole, or you get a thing where you kind of, you know you can get it back to the person, but you think, you're like, has enough time passed to where I give it back to the person? Or has enough time passed where I don't have to give it back to the person? Because you know the person's never going to ask you for it. That's the other thing. You know the person doesn't care. Like, you know the person doesn't care anymore. Like, my friend, I know my friend did that, and then I got lots of other friends like that. And I got a few of these other things. And there's a couple of things where it's like that, where it's like, do I give it back to the person? Right? And then I have a few things where, like, I borrowed it, and even at the time, I kind of knew, I was like, you're not going to get this back for years, person. You know, like, I know that for a fact. Right? And at the time I probably was like, well, I'll get it back someday. And then I never did, so. But, you know, so it's like, do you give it back to the person? Do you not give it back to the person? So. And then, yeah, so, one thing is I borrowed the Game Boy Advance link cable. But this guy had a 4-way link cable. So for him, it was like, or for me, when I was like, whoa. And the only game he ever played with it was Mario Kart 60, in the Mario Kart Super Circuit. So, I think he had 3. I don't think he had 4. Or he had 2, I don't remember. Anyway. Oh, and Pokemon, obviously. He traded Pokemon stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, so that's the thing, like, this is one of those things. I have a couple of other things where it's like that, where it's like, do I give it back to the person? Like, this is one of those things where I know there's a way I could give it back to this person, right? Because I'm sure I could, like, meet up with this person some way. But it's like, would the person even care? The person would probably be like, what? I don't even know where the box is. Don't ask me where the box is. Do not ask me where the box is. Sorry. Do not ask me where the box is. But I have the actual game, so. And I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, it needs to be in the box, it needs to be in the box. No, I don't care. Just, I have the game, I can play it somehow. I'm also the person where it's like, I don't care how I play it either. Emulate it, play it off of, like, Raspberry Pis and Retro Pi. I don't care. I really don't care. As long as I can play it in some way, shape, or form, I'm fine with it. So I'm taking all my ISOs and putting them onto, like, here for, like, PS2 and stuff. So, yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, that's one of those things. So yeah. So, Diddy Kong Racing is one of those games where I'm like, I know it's better, but I don't know. Like, I know, like, I personally know that it's, I like it. I think it's better, but I like Mario Kart better, you know? So Mission Impossible is one of those games where, because the nerd talked about how he thought it was going to be one of those games, like a GoldenEye clone, right? Where it kind of is, because it's like in the same vein and the same kind of like gameplay style, gameplay look and aesthetic and all that, but it's not in gameplay and how like you don't just go guns blazing like in the GoldenEye. No, you have to actually do like stealthy missions, stealthy stuff. It's more kind of more like a Metal Gear Solid or like a, I don't know, like stuff like that, but not really because it's kind. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I don't think it's a horrible game, but it's not good. It's just kind of, ugh. It's a hard game to play because you're like, ugh. Like, ooh. And one of the games that he let me borrow, I remember playing it and just being like, oh, it's cool. And only cool because I never had these things. I think all the games there were cool. You know, I had everything from, in that pile of games, I had everything from the Transformers the movie game, which is absolutely like fantastic, to Transformers the movie game, to Ocarina of Time and Mario Super Mario 64, and I had Jango Fett on PS2. I don't know what it's called, Bounty Hunter, Jango Fett Bounty Hunter, right? Where that was a decent game. I don't know, it was weird, but yeah. I had some. What was it? Ochre Battle? What was it called? That what it was called on N64. I had 1080 snowboarding. Is that what it's called? Yeah. So I had a lot of games on that. Man, it was like a lot. It was overwhelming at the time. I remember that. Just being like, this is amazing. Like my mind was just blown, and how we just kept coming with the games. It was like, what? Why? But that's not. I don't think the system I played the most of. I think I played the most of the DS. I'm telling you. As a kid, I think I played the most of the DS. Because looking back in my DS library of like games, and I started with the Lego Star Wars or Lego stuff, right? And I went. The Lego stuff is actually really not bad. Like it's really good. So you've got like, wow. There are bad Lego games. There are bad Lego games. It's just, it's more of a meh, than a like, oh, this is bad. Right, necessarily. Because even if you get the, like, quote-unquote bad Lego games, which are like Lego Star Wars 2, is it? Or Lego Star Wars Trilogy 2 or something like that? Anyway, the one, I had that game as a kid, and the only reason that game that game didn't age well for me was because it's so damn slow. It's so dang slow. It's so slow. Everything about the game is just slow. But the thing I did like about it, over something like Star Wars Complete Saga, is you know in the part when you start the game, or sorry, start the level. You start the level and you get to choose a like character, right? You got the character selection screen and you can choose character, and then you get like whatever, 6 of them, 8 of them, right? Well, in Star Wars 2, like Star Wars Trilogy 2, whatever it was called, it had like a screen on the bottom, right? And it had maybe 8 or 10 on the bottom. But you could take that whole thing. You could always have that and always cycle through everything you have. It's all the characters you have. So you could always change to any character you wanted, which was a really, really good idea. And the cheats in that game are fun. So it was like there's like a like mugs as guns. I think there was a big-headed one. There was a Western one. There was raining. There was what else? There was Disco. And it's a decent. I mean, it's a good game. It's just slow. I think it's like decent. It's just slow, which is what made that game awful. Like just slowness of it. Like I don't think it was actually that bad. If it was a little bit faster of a game, like it picked up a little bit, and you could, I think it would be actually a decent game, right? So that's just with that one. And then I had weird things like, well, I had like that one, the Star Wars. I had that one, second one, Star Wars. I had Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I had Indiana Jones, and I played, same friend, Batman, borrowed Batman, Lego Batman, the first one from him, which is a really good game. It's just, I don't know, I got bored of it fairly quickly when I picked it up again, when I bought it, like, a year ago, 2 years ago, year and a half, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know. So, I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just that it's kind of, to me, is one of the games that doesn't really hold up in the whole, like, oh, I can play this 23 times in a row, and it's great. Not really. Where Indiana Jones is a, like, bad game. It's not a good version of LEGO games. It's one of the lower LEGO games. But I'll replay it. Which is weird. Every so often I'll replay it, so. And I didn't have any of the later stuff. I didn't have the Harry Potter 1 to 4 or 5 to 7. I didn't have Pirates of the Caribbean. I didn't have Lord of the Rings. Or The Hobbit? Lord of the Rings? They made a Lord of the Rings, right? Or was The Hobbit? Lord of the Rings? Hobbit? Maybe both? Possibly both? I don't know. Anyway, so. So again, same friend borrowed something called Lego Battles, which was, I think, Space Pirates and Knights, I believe. And it was a fun, pretty good game. It was weird, I have to say that. It was, like, different from all the other Lego games. But I think that's why I liked it, because it was just so different. It was like a RTS, a real-time strategy game, which is really an interesting concept for the Lego series. Because Lego is usually like a platformer, you know. Anyway. Or based on something, right? So. And this wasn't really based on anything. Well, it was kind of based on their, like, because they had a Knights line. They did have a Pirates line, did they? Or did they just pull out from the old Pirates line? I don't know. I know they had a Knights in a Space version. A Knights in a Space version. Which, I mean, I think were great. I never got any of them. I think my brother got a few Knights, and my brother's friend got a few of the Space. It was more of like a Mars thing, I believe. It was more of a Mars, you know? Okay. Yes, there was a big cut there. Something happened with the camera, it didn't work, so I stopped it, and we're going to continue today. Different shirt, different day. Sorry about that, but yeah. Today, I just finished the first time playing online with somebody on Steam. It was so good. I played something called Golf Galore. It's like a golf with friends or a golf it. Man, it's a good game. It's a good game. Like definitely a good game. And I want to try other games. The other games I had in mind were like, where is it? Catan Universe. And then the other one was the Card Hunter? No, it was, oh, maybe it was Card, no, it was, what was it called? Card Hunter? Maybe it was Card Hunter. No, it was, I cannot find what it was called. Oh, Tabletopia. Tabletopia. That was the other one. And basically that's like a bunch of different games you could play, like, put together, kind of like a D&D-esque game. Oh, man. Oh, it's going to be great. Oh, I think it's going to be good. And so, yeah. That's what I did there, and so, I mean, hey, it worked. It was good. It was good. I just watched an episode of, what's it called? Rental Reviews on Cinemassacre. And they were doing Jurassic Park 3 versus Jurassic Park 2, which is better. Okay. Here's the thing. 2, better movie. Very much a better movie. But 3, okay, is a movie I would watch. I'd watch 3. I would not watch 2. 2 is a bunch of hooey, in my opinion, in terms of, would I want to watch this movie again? Will it entertain me again? And it's like, no, not particularly, no. No. Now look, it's not a bad movie, don't get me wrong, but it is not very good. It's not a bad movie, don't get me wrong, but God, both are not good. You take the first one and you say it's a masterpiece, right? You take the second one and you go, okay, it's like 50%. You take the third one and you go, it's like a tenth of it. Just how, like, it's bad. I'm going to say this right now. They're 2 and 3 are bad. But the arguments that they had were things like, well, It's a better movie. It has more like to do with the book. Like the third one has more to do with the book than the second one. I don't know. But then you have the argument stuff like the one guy who should have died in the third movie, Ben, just didn't die. And you're like, why? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. It's like, but he's the only person who should have died. But the only reason he should have died is because he was a big arse. He was an arse up your butt. It was so bad. Like, he was just a dumb twat. Right? He should have just died. But no. He don't die. For some strange reason, he doesn't die. I haven't a clue why. He just doesn't die. And there's a whole part of the third movie where... Spoiler alerts, okay? But there's a whole part of the third movie where, like... First he steals the eggs, okay? From the raptors. And everyone's just like... First he steals the eggs from the raptors, and then they get surrounded by the raptors, and he kind of gives them back, and... You know, it's got that thing. Where it should have just been eaten. He had them in his hands. Should have been eaten. They should have made the whole thing, because the whole part of that is he does the raptor stuff, and so he should have just like, so he should have been smart enough to know, okay, well they're, right? No. Right? So they work with raptors, him and Alan Grant, right? Which they did the same thing as the second one. They phoned it in with just grabbing a random character that's kind of associated with the first one. Like, oh yeah, associations with the first one, right, whatever. I mean, which is not the worst thing, but it's very much like, really could have gotten any new characters. Oh, and you got Ellie Grant. Ellie Sattler? Yeah, Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, yeah. Which was the stupidest thing, because you know in the first movie that they were going to be a thing, Alan and Ellie, and they don't become a thing, and you're like, why? Why? Whatever. It's dumb. Anyway. What else? And then, yeah, so there. So that part. Alright? So it's the raptor thing. So he should have been smarter and figured out, like, oh, he stole our what's it called? Right? Stuff. Right? Therefore, he should be the guy we go after. But no, this doesn't ever happen. It's dumb. And then he gets picked up by the freaking pterodactyls in the like bird sanctuary thing, like the flying reptile sanctuary thing. And he just should have been literally mauled. Like the part where he freaking... Oh no, that's Eric, the kid. Oh. Eric gets picked up and put into the bird nest. He should have been picked up, bird's nest, and then mauled. The mama should have mauled him to death and fed him to the freaking baby birds. Like, come on. He was such a useless character. I mean, in my opinion, he was just really useless, but what do you want? What are you gonna do, right? Anyway. And the freaking Spinosaurus does not make it better than the T-Rex. He's not better than the T-Rex, right? Everyone's like, wow, he's a Spinosaurus, he's so cool, he's so... no. But then there's things in the second one that are stupid, like freaking Vince Vaughn and his stupid, oh, we gotta keep no, everybody's gonna die because I need my freaking T-Rex to live. No, stop. It's stupidity. And the freaking raptors get killed by gymnastics. It's so stupid, right? It's freaking Steven Spielberg phoning it in and being like, he's got all the other movies to make, and he's like, making a movie, and he's like, oh yeah, do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, come on. Okay, back to this movie which I actually care about. Okay, yeah, right, gotta do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's just like, oh, come on, people, really? It's Steven freaking Spielberg. You could have made a great movie, but you didn't. You decided, no. No. The freaking thing with the two cars over the freaking cliff. It's the same as the first movie. And then the T-Rex and the freaking, was it New York, California, San Diego, right? It's dumb. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong about this, but the scene where they're coming out of like they're going towards the building, and they start screaming, and they scream, and like there's a bunch of like group of people screaming out the T-Rex. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a scene from a Godzilla movie. And I believe it's in Japanese, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure, though. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, yeah. So the second one's not good either, but the third has a lot of these, like, oh my god, this is so bad. But it's the kind of bad you want to watch again. The second one's just boring. The second one's just, like, boring and, like, oh, this is dumb and whatever. Which, I mean, it's not the worst, but it's like, ugh, I don't like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, ugh. Not that either of them are, like, the worst movie I'll ever watch. Don't get me wrong. They're not the worst movie I'll ever watch. They're just... Again, like I've said this before, I think the reason why people don't like TV show-based movies, book-based movies, book-based TV shows, video game-based movies, movie-based TV shows, movie-based video games, and all of that sort, is because it's connected to something. You know, it's connected to something they... Well, with the books, I feel like it's more that they, like they've created this thing in their mind, this is what it should look like, and once you make it, you're like, oh, that's wrong! And you're like, no. And usually it's with characters. Not always, but usually it's with characters. And so, they have this, like, oh, this is what the character should look like, and it's like, not exactly. Not exactly. No. Not that, you know, you're wrong or they're wrong. It's just, there's no set in stone thing like, oh, this is what it should be. Which is fine. It's just fine, right? Anyway, but they've created this, like, take something like, I don't know, Harry Potter, or take something that's not a movie yet. Take Charlie Bone, okay? Which is a book about, like, people with powers, and they have these, like, magical powers, and anyway. They got magical powers, they go to a magical school, right? It's kind of Harry Potter-like, but it's more like you have an ability. Anyway. There's things on the front of that cover, so that doesn't really help. Okay. Take something like Calvin and Hobbes, right? We've all created their voice for Calvin and a voice for Hobbes and all that stuff, right? We've made that already, right? We've done that, okay? Right? Right? So, if they ever made, like, a Saturday morning cartoon or a TV show, or like a Saturday morning cartoon, TV show, movie, etc., we'd all just be like, that's wrong! Which is why Bill Watterson didn't want anything associated with him, with, like, voices and any of that stuff. Which I understand. 100% understand. 100% understand. Right? And so that's the thing with this. I was thinking about this afternoon. It's the same thing with, like, Spy Kids. The only reason Spy Kids 4 was, like, the worst movie, like, such a bad movie, was because it was Spy Kids 4. If you called it, like, Renegade Rogue 3, or, like, Kid Kung Fu or something, you know, something just, like, you know, you're like, oh, it's homage, but it's not the same thing, then I feel like we would have all been like, this is kind of trying to... Also, it was such a, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Far away pull out of, like, it was such a long time after that we wouldn't have been like, oh, that's, you know, whatever, you know, trying to be Spy Kids. No, we wouldn't care. Everyone would be like, whatever. You know? Oh, fine. No, that's a move. It's freaking empty. So yeah, at least that's my opinion on that. So that's the thing with Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park 3 was Jurassic Park. It would have been, like, somewhat decent if it wasn't Jurassic Park, right? It's like a weird dinosaur movie, whatever. Right? At least that's what I feel. Would have been like, ugh. kiss another. So yeah, at least that's my opinion on why that was terrible. It's a lot of like why everyone hates Star Wars now because it was Star Wars. If it wasn't Star Wars, we'd all have been like, you know, not that would have been a good movie. It's just we just would have been like, you know, we'd have at least been like, because it wasn't connected to this. So I mean, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying it's just a little no. No. So. That didn't work. Where's the one I want? No. Oh, no. Can't find it. So yeah. No. Okay. Okay, anyway. So yeah. I mean, that's just why I think it, like, and I think that's why, I don't know, certain things, that's why people just don't like certain things, and other ones are like, well, you know. Right? That's at least my opinion on the whole matter. So. I think that's right. So yeah. So yeah. That's why it's terrible. Or that's why at least people think it's bad. That's why the second and third Jurassic Parks are so bad. Because they're Jurassic Park. If they were just like rando dinosaur movie, we all have been like, you know, we would have been like, So, that's my opinion on the matter. So, I think that'll be it for now, guys. Again, in the comments below, tell me what to do with this camera, the podcast, the YouTube channel, please. And then, what's it called? And, yeah. And then I have a Discord. If you want to get in contact with me, there's the Discord. There's the email. And then there's Patreon if you want to, please support me. Please support me on Patreon. If you want to see better content, support me on Patreon. This has been on. I didn't realize. Oh, it's gonna suck. Oh well. It's so hot I can't. Anyway, you're gonna have to deal with it, sorry. But yeah. Yeah. So I think that'll be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos.